What's up guys, my name is Ace, and since last week's big weapon balancing update to Black Ops 4, I've had a ton of people asking me, what are the best setups now? What are the best guns? What should I be using if I'm trying to play the best that I possibly can? What are the best setups to use? So today, I'm going to be going over my current top 5. However, of course, these are based on my personal preferences and playstyle, and please feel free to make adjustments to suit you. Also, I want to point out that these aren't necessarily like the only classes I use. These are kind of like the try-hard setups, the ones that I'll use if I'm in trouble. I like to have these sorts of classes available. I'm still currently grinding for Dark Matter, so I'm really trying to mix it up, and I encourage you guys to do the same, but if you're just looking for those best setups, let's get into them. Keep in mind, these are in no particular order. So first up, let's start it off with my favorite Maddox class. Now, if you saw my gun guide recently, you will see this exact class setup, and with this, we're using the Maddox with both Quick Draw 1 as well as Quick Draw 2, so we can snap on a target super quickly. We've got the stock attachment, which helps us strafe in gunfights. It just makes you that much harder to hit, and this actually helps quite a bit in your gunfights. And we also have fast mags, just because the Maddox has a pretty slow reload time. It's the slowest in the assault rifle category, so it is nice to have that slightly faster reload if we're being super aggressive, which I like to be with this class. I actually mentioned in the gun guide that this is my favorite SMG class, even though I'm aware that it's not in the SMG category. I really feel the Maddox is better than all of the SMGs up close. For our gear, you're going to be seeing this on most of the classes. We have the stim shot. I really like stim shot because I'm a relatively aggressive player and I like getting back in the action as soon as possible after taking a fight. We've got our special issue equipment, which you will see across all of my classes because it doesn't cost anything on your class. We've got gung ho, so we can eliminate our sprint out time as long as we're breaking our sprint by aiming down sight. And finally, we've got dead silence on there, which you will be seeing these two perks across a lot of these classes because at this moment, they are currently my favorites. Moving on to the next class, this is a tactical rifle class, and we're using the Auger with a reflex sight, both of the high caliber attachments, as well as fast mags. Now with the Auger, I'm not really a fan of the default sight. I can use it, but I prefer a red dot on there, so I throw a reflex sight on. And then with high caliber 1 and 2, these are key with the Auger. It makes it so any shots to the upper chest or head, all it's going to take is 2 of those shots to get yourself an extremely fast kill. As for fast mags, I feel like I burn through magazines relatively quickly, and if I'm running into a ton of enemies at once, it's nice to be able to get that really quick reload in so I can stay in the fight. Once again, we're running stim shot on this. That's basically a crutch for me. Perk 1 is going to be scavenger because I actually tend to stay alive relatively long with this class setup, and therefore I want to be able to keep that streak going, so scavenger is always nice to keep replenishing my ammo. And once again, we've got gung ho as well as dead silence. This class is excellent for locking down lanes, but also in its current state, it's quite effective up close as well. As long as you're hitting that upper chest or head, you're going to be dominating even SMGs at close range. Next up, we've got a Vapor class, and I really enjoy using this one. I think this is very similar, if not identical, to one of the classes I shared in my Vapor gun guide. With this, we're using a reflex sight, stock, high caliber, as well as rapid fire. And with this, just make sure you're trying to hit a headshot because all it takes is one single headshot, and then you get an excellent time to kill with the Vapor. Once again, we got stim shot and a special issue equipment, and actually the same perks as last time as well. Scavenger, because with the Vapor with rapid fire, you can burn through ammo very quickly. So unless you're running as Crash, or you have a teammate running as Crash, which I don't always like to rely on, I like running Scavenger when I'm using this. And once again, we've got gung ho for the sprint out time and dead silence to basically just be silent. Getting into the LMG category, I feel this class setup is really underrated. I don't see a whole lot of people using the VKM, and if you haven't really used it much, I'd highly recommend giving it a go until you unlock High Cal 1 as well as High Caliber 2, because just like with the Auger, all it takes once you have both of those attachments is 2 shots to the upper chest or head, and you'll have yourself a very fast kill. Also with this, we're using Quick Draw. Since it is an LMG, it does aim down sight very slow. Quick Draw just helps so it stays a little bit more in line with assault rifles, for instance. Also, with the iron sights, I have no problem with the iron sights, but I did put a reflex sight on this just because I had that extra class point, so I thought I'd pop it on there. For our secondary, we do have a launcher here. This one allows us to shoot down UAVs and stuff really easily. It's great for farming score and getting your streaks up quickly. Once again, we got a stim shot on there. We're using engineer this time, which just helps us see enemy equipment, which can be very helpful in finding enemies as well as just getting that free score with your launcher. And we're using gung ho just in case we get caught sprinting with this. We want to be able to snap out a sprint as fast as possible. Like I said, this one is very underrated. It's quite unorthodox. I don't see it used a whole lot. Maybe you guys see it more than I do. But if you guys haven't given this one a go, make sure you try it out. Now finally, we have one more LMG class, and this is one that you guys have probably been getting quite annoyed with because a lot of the top players are currently using this in public matches and absolutely stomping on lobbies. You'll actually see this in a lot of my gameplays as well. This is the Titan with quick draw, stock, and extended mags. Once again, we've got a launcher on there. We've got a ComSec device for this one because I tend to hang back a little bit more with this and pick people off, and I'm quite confident with going on streaks, so this just allows me to get my streaks up a lot faster. Once again, we're running Engineer here, which just helps us find the enemy equipment, which helps us find enemies in a lot of cases. We've got Gung Ho and Dead Silence on this, and this class absolutely dominates. I would say actually in the current state of the game, if I'm ever struggling really hard, like I end up against some crazy people on the enemy team and I really need to make a comeback, this is normally the class I'll be pulling out to try and bring the game back. And with that, that's pretty much it. That's going to wrap it up for my current top 5 favorite class setups in Black Ops 4 multiplayer. Now keep in mind, these classes will change and evolve over time as the meta changes and as the stats change when we get different updates. I will be sure to keep you guys updated on this. I plan on doing one of these roughly once a month or after every major update at least, after we give it a little bit of time to let things settle in and try everything out after an update. I will be updating these top 5 class setup videos. Of course, I'd like to know in the comment section below, what is your current favorite class to use in Black Ops 4 multiplayer? If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.